Now, listen, family, this is why men and women, it is important for us to be on top of our game. It is important for us, family. We got to get into the mindset where we got to stop associating with Dusty and Dusty Associates. All of these hard luck people. Man, brothers, listen. Some of these women out here, yeah, they might be freaky, whoop-de-whoop. They might do all these things with their mouth or throat and all that stuff. But a lot of them, these chicks with these old hard luck lifestyles, dudes jumping on them and all that, y'all got to stay away from that.
Even y'all all.
And women too. When you dealing with dudes and you got all types of baby mama drama and this baby mama want to fight chicks and all, you got to stay away from that. We got to stay away from this on both sides. We see how dangerous this stuff can get. This brother had a promising career, a promising future, and just got taken out by some dusty ass simp. That's a hell of a way to go. We got to have a lot of degrees of separation from dustiness. I hate to see brothers out here getting caught up. We've seen it several times. Brothers out here at some chick's house and some dude that pulled up and took them out. That's not a way to go out, brothers. You know the brother who used to be on the Steve Harvey show, what's his name? Santana? What's his name? Merlin? What was his name? Merlin Santana? That was his name. Yeah. Good brother, man. I like that brother.
His name is Merlin Santana. He's only 26 years old, but already famous for TV roles as the lovable Stanley on The Cosby Show, and more recently as the heartthrob Romeo on The Steve Harvey Show.
Duck!
Merlin Santana died on this street in the wee hours of Saturday morning, November 9th, 2002. He was shot in the back of the head while riding in a friend's car. Was this a random gang execution? An attempted robbery gone bad? Or was there something more sinister and disturbing at work?
When you get a case involving a celebrity, one of the things that you want to look at is whether or not their celebrity status had anything to do with the crime itself.
Good brother, man. I like that brother. But he was over there. I want to say he was down there in the jungle, I think, somewhere at some chick's house, and some dudes took him out, man. I hate to see that type of stuff. Leave these old hard luck ass people alone. We got to step it up.
He was making his mark, slowly making his mark in the industry. He was up and rising.
In between TV gigs, Merlin begins writing and performing music. He loves rap and starts working on his own album. That leads him to a friend who has a small recording studio at a house in LA's Crenshaw district. It's here that Merlin Santana's potential would come crashing down.
20, 50, 100.
It was a Friday night, November 8th, 2002. Opportunity and timing played a pivotal role in Merlin Santana's fate. He wasn't even supposed to be in Los Angeles that weekend. Merlin had made plans to go back to New York and visit his family, but an audition at the last minute for a brand new sitcom forced him to change those plans. Instead, Merlin and a good buddy, actor Brandon Adams, head for the house in Crenshaw to record some tracks. Around midnight, Merlin calls a young woman he and Brandon had met a couple days before at a local restaurant. She introduced herself as Mercedes.
She saw Santana, she recognized him from the Steve Harvey Show, and she wanted to get to know him better. In my opinion, he was flattered that people recognized him.
Our brother Trouble was 34 years old, relatively young brother. Family, you don't be around these chicks with these old crazy ass accents. You gotta cut that off.
Family and friends of Tamara Washington were left shattered as they returned tonight to where she and her boyfriend were killed. Police arrested her ex-boyfriend, a convicted murderer who was out on bond in another case at the time of the killing.
Family, you don't be around these chicks with these old crazy ass accents. You got to cut that off.
Merlin asked her if she wanted to come over and hang out with him and his friend Brandon, and she agreed to do that. And they gave her directions to the house where they were staying, and she came over. What they didn't know was that she was being dropped off by other people who were also in the car, 2 young men.
Mercedes arrives around 2 a.m., but she's acting strange, flitting about like a nervous butterfly. In a few minutes, she makes a phone call, then says she has to leave.
This raised some suspicion on Brandon Adams' part. So Brandon followed her out of the house and saw her get into a large SUV, which then drove a few blocks away and stopped.
Brandon goes back in and tells Merlin he doesn't like what he's seen. They decide it's time to get out of the house.
As he was walking out to the car, Brandon became suspicious, uneasy.
As Brandon got into the car and started it, he noticed in the rearview mirror that the 2 young men were now jogging towards them.
He again looked in the rearview mirror and saw these 2 individuals with their arms pointed straight out in their direction. He also saw a red beam illuminating the rearview mirror of the vehicle.
That looked to him like a laser sight on a rifle, and Brandon Adams said that he yelled to Merlin Santana to duck.
Still, the great mystery is why. What possible reason could these men have had to kill an all-around good guy like Merlin Santana? The answer, when it emerged, would stun authorities. The catalyst for the ambush was an astonishing lie, concocted by Monique King.
What really started all of this was Miss King's false accusation that Brandon Adams and Merlin Santana had tried to rape her.
And then, like, they were just touching all over me.
No one knows exactly when Monique first made the accusation. But just imagine how Damian Gates reacted to hearing that a Hollywood hotshot had possibly assaulted her. This murder was all about payback.
There's no reason for her to make that accusation, and obviously that led to a series of tragic events that resulted in the death of Merlin Santana.
You got to cut that off. I know crazy woman sex is great. Oh, they give the best dome, the whole shebang. These women with all of these problems. Problem women are the freakiest. But when you get out that bed, you still got to deal with her damn problems. And all of her freaky stuff, that turns simps crazy. You dig? You over there at this broad's crib getting domed down or whatever, but understand there's some dusty ass simp that she done turned out. This nigga running around here with a gun, ready to fight everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be around that environment.
I don't believe it. She said she was 21, and she looked 21. I was surprised when we found out that she was in fact 15 years of age.
Within a few hours, police learn her real name.
So what is your name?
Monique King.
She's Monique King, a 15-year-old runaway from a juvenile facility.
Listen, you can either be a suspect or a witness. It's your choice.
I didn't do anything.
She finally came forward, told us what had transpired prior to the shooting.
She called me to go to the party, and Damian took me.
Armed with Monique King's cell phone, detectives follow the electronic trail. It leads them to one of Monique's friends, a man named Damian Gates.
Man, brothers, listen. Some of these women out here, Yeah, they might be freaky whoop-de-whoop. They might do all these things with their mouth and throat and all that stuff. But a lot of them, these chicks with these old hard luck lifestyles, dudes jumping on them and all that, y'all got to stay away from that.
Even y'all call.
And women too.
I'm so geeked up, I'm like fuck a condom.
Like a thief in the night.
Why self life?
So what am I supposed to tell him? So all I can do is welcome his ass in here. I don't wish him well. I don't do like the rest of them and take it easy now. Good luck to you. I tell him see you when you get back, nigga.